Hello, and welcome to 10 Minutes of Feminine Health and Beauty. And today we're going to talk about our empathic nature. I had said earlier on the videos that I would talk more about this because I think this is really important learning for women, especially in embracing our feeling nature, is to understand a little bit more about it. And we all know that empathy is putting ourselves in someone else's shoes. And as women, we naturally do that. We feel people, it's part of our child raising. Way back when they were in tribal communities, they raised the children and they had many of them. And it wasn't a thinking that happened. It was really you sensed who needed nourishment, who needed care, who needed your attention. So it's really part of our innate gift. And when we understand it more, we can actually use it to our benefit and towards our health and beauty. So let's think about this as we feel other people. We are actually going out and we're very connected and we can blend very well with others and we can sense their feelings. And this is a wonderful gift. In the yoga system, they have us having 7 bodies. So our physical body and the surface of our skin is just one, but there's actually 6 more layers of energy that we have around us that we sense and feel with. And if you look at yourself as like just a whole egg of space, like a ball around you, that's your energy field. And I'm a big studier and propagator of Einstein's information. I think he was just a brilliant man. He taught us a lot about energy, and I understand how to use some of that for our benefit and health rather than it just being science. So we're all big energy fields, and when we get near each other, we naturally blend our fields together. And you really want to be aware that you're this egg and you're going out. So you go out into the world and you go near other people, and the outer parts of your field just naturally blend together. And I don't know if you recall, but when we were in science, you would have something high, maybe a high number and then a low number, and then you would find the median. And that's what happens to us with energy. If you go out in a really high mood and then you go around somebody who doesn't have quite as much positivity as you, and you stand and you hang with them, you're going to make this larger field with your both energy fields. And what's going to happen is the energy is going to median. It's going to come to an average. So the high person's going to get a little bit lower and the low person's going to raise higher. So this is naturally happening around us. We're all one big energy field, and this is what we're doing. This is what's happening. So when you understand it that way, it makes it a lot easier for you to understand yourself and how to manage. So here we are, we're going out in the world. We've done our practices. We're feeling really magnificent. We have a very high vibration. And we go out and we find people that maybe are not as high vibed as we are. And we're going to be near them, and it's naturally going to blend, and they're going to take some of our energy. We're going to take some of theirs, and it's going to mix. You can actually make it so that you don't mix your energy with other people in that way with awareness. So this is naturally happening. This is what's going on, but we can be aware of this and really kind of claim our own space. Now, some people put light around them and do all kinds of different practices. Whatever works for you, I'm about try it. If it works, great. Use whatever it is. I just consciously call in that I'm going to be in my self-sacred space and circle, and I'm going to be aware of when and how I'm blending and when I'm actually filtering out energy and giving it or taking it in. Now, this took me a long practice. I'm very sensitive, and I can still go out when I'm tired or exhausted and not remember to cover myself and make sure that I keep my own field nice and strong. I do teach Aharaj Yoga, which is very much a martial arts, and a lot of the martial arts, they're building your third chakra, which is your vital body that keeps your immune system and that outer layer protected. So they're very good practices to help that basic self, your innate health system, kind of keep out, if it's very strong, anything that's of a lower vibe or maybe some kind of illness isn't going to come into your field if you have a very strong vital body. But you can also just do it with consciousness, and you can go out there and realize that you are you and they are them, and you don't have to take in and blend your emotions if you're conscious of it. You just don't. So it's very easy. Consciousness helps us a ton of ways. That's why we learn the oxy breath and we've learned flowing movement and all these things, is for us to pay attention to how we're feeling, what's happening around us. And when we do that, we have much more control. So here we are, we're going out. We're feeling good. We're going around somebody who has a lower energy or isn't in a good situation, and we're going to sit with them and visit a friend or help someone in our family or wherever we go. And what do we do then to help ourselves really have a better experience? Now, I'm going to use an example that I used in my book of me and cancer. My dad had cancer, and for a year and a half, he battled it, and then he ended up losing his life and moving on. So there's a lot of very challenging and hard memories that come from that time when I was experiencing that. So say I go out and I run into somebody who is dealing with cancer in some form. The first thing that's going to happen is they're going to bring up their story about what's going on, and I'm going to empathize. I'm going to go, oh, I remember that feeling, and I'm going to call up all the experience with my dad. Now, if I'm not paying attention, I'm going to call up a lot of those feelings as well. So not only have they given me some information about their situation, now I've gone in and empathized. I put myself in their shoes, and I'm starting to relive some memories about my dad. And so now I'm actually even lowering my vibration more because I'm into my feeling nature of the past, and the heart and the challenge of it. And so now I'm really weighted. And that's where we go wrong with our empathetic nature. What I should do, what would be the best and highest way that I could manage it, is that I hear that they're in a situation and I empathize because I've been in that situation. And I can just stop right there. My feelings and indicator, right there, I'm using it as one. Oh, I remember, I know what is needed in this situation. So then I'm going to stop being in my empathy and I'm going to start to give them what they need. So at that point, I would be using my empathy right, and I would start to give love and understanding. I'd maybe listen to her tale, and I would offer a very positive, higher vibe because she's in a lower vibe. I'm in a higher vibe. So this is not my life. I'm not dealing with this situation currently. So I can stay where I am, and I can use my empathetic nature as the indicator to know, oh, I understand this. I'm going to offer love and compassion and support. That's what they need. That's what's going to help them feel better, help them be clear to understand, not me going into all the memories of my dad and the horror of it and getting that low feeling about it and then sitting there with her and actually bringing her vibe down. Now I'm going to stop at the indicator and I'm going to bring forth what is necessary. And that's really, to me, the difference between compassion and empathy. Empathy is the indicator. We know that feeling, and we're going to stop at knowing that feeling and knowing how to understand them. And then from there, instead of going into the negative feelings of our situation, we're going to stop and offer love, light, listening, understanding, kindness, all these things that's going to help your friend and raise their vibe. So this is very important understanding because it is so natural for us to just call up those feelings from the old, and just the mind can just categorize and go on and on and on, and the feeling nature gets involved, and now we have all these emotions. And that's the craziness that we're trying to learn and really understand how this can help us and make us better people and better health and better beauty by watching how all of this occurs. So I want you to, as a practice, notice when you're around other people how they make you feel. If that brings up your other emotions, knowing that you can stop doing that. You don't have to, someone telling you a horrible tale about their husband, you can start to think, oh, I remember when my husband did that. And then you can get into this feeling of not liking your husband because they're bringing up a story about their husband, and that you don't need to do that. You can just go, oh, I understand. I remember when I was in a tough time like that. And then maybe you can offer something that will raise them, something positive, something in becoming, something that will be nice for them to hear and work with and bring them forward versus kind of slumping down in to it with them. And I think we naturally just do that. We slump in, we do a lot of venting, and none of that provides any good for us at all. We're better off when we can help and bring a higher vibe, whether it's just listening, whether it's just understanding, whether you're just sitting there calling in love. Any of those things are going to really help that person versus you going into your negative emotions and bringing up a situation similar. So I want you just to pay attention to that. And to me, this was a practice, and I still have to use it all the time, but it's very good. And it's just a practice in awareness and how to use your emotional nature rightly. Remembering your feelings are an indicator, and then stopping it there. You don't have to go into the whole rigmarole of it. So I look forward to hearing from you about this and any thoughts that you have. And we'll get together for the next lesson on how to create more beauty and health through understanding our feminine nature rightly. Thank you and enjoy your day.